Hello बच्चों, welcome to the one shot revision of simple equation. So without any further delay, let's start this. So let's start understanding this chapter with a mind reading game. In a class, Ayushi is a student. She asks Sana, which is another student of the same class, to think of a number, and then she asks her to multiply it by 4, then add 5 to the resultant, that is to the product. Then Ayushi asks Sana to tell the result. She says it is 65. After knowing the number which Sana get after doing all the operation, Ayushi instantly declared that the number she started with, that is Sana started with the number 15. Sana nods, that means she agreed what Ayushi said. Now this is the turn for Arya. Arya also started doing it with Shreya. He asked Shreya to think of a number. Shreya think a number, multiplied by 10. Shreya did the same. Again Arya said Shreya to subtract 20 from the product. He did that again. After knowing what Shreya's answer is, Shreya says my answer is 50. Arya immediately declares that the number Shreya thought of initially was 7. Shreya again confirmed it, yes, that's the number I started with. But why this is happening, that every time without knowing the actual number they started with, they are getting on the conclusion that what is the number they started with, the reason being the simple equation. Let's see how simple equation helps you to play such mind reading game. For an example, that all depends on how you see simple equation. Let's start what they are doing in a mind reading game. Ayushi begins. Ayushi asks Sana to think of a number. Let's just think, we also started doing the same. Whatever Ayushi is saying, let that number be x. Let the number be x. Now this number is nothing. X is representing a number. That number can be anything. Now multiply this number with 4. If I'll multiply x with 4, I will get a number 4x, because I'm multiplying it with 4. Now my product is 4x. Now if I'll add 5 to this product, I will get 4x plus 5. Now when Ayushi asks Sana to ask the number she get at the last, and Sana says 65, Ayushi just did that this number which I am getting in terms of x should be equal to the final answer, that is 65, and the solution of this equation will give me the actual number I started with, that is x. So if I solve this equation, I will get the answer of x as 15, and that's what Ayushi did. Ayushi solved this simple equation, and then she confirmed that the number she started with is 15. We also learned how to solve such equation later on in this video, but right now let's try to make the setting up an equation for the given. Similarly for Arya also did the same. He asks Shreya to think of a number. Again we are taking that number can be x, y, anything. I am taking let the number be y. This time the number be y multiplied by 10. If I'll multiply this number by 10, I'll get a number 10y. Now if I'll subtract 20 from the product, that is 10y, if I'll subtract 20 from this, I'll get a number 10y minus 20. Now this is my final product. Now Arya asks Shreya to ask for the number he get at the last, and the number is 50. That means the number we are getting in terms of y should be equals to 50. So that number should be equals to 15. After solving this simple equation, we will get answer as y is equals to 7. That's what Arya did. Arya also get the same equation, and after solving he said that the number she started with is 7. In similar way we can play more mind games like this. Now let's try to understand some definition. First one is the equation. When I'm talking about simple equation, first we need to understand what an equation is. An equation is a condition on a variable. It is a condition on a variable, a statement of equality which involves one or more literals or variables is called as an equation. So it is nothing but a condition on a variable. Now what is a variable? Variable is the word means something that can vary, that means that can change. For an example, if I'm taking any variable, it can take any number. Like we did earlier, we take x or y, which can take any number. So a variable is nothing but a number which can take any which is a alphabet which can take any numerical value. Its value is not fixed like the number. So a variable is any alphabet which can take any number. The value of that number is not fixed. These variables generally denoted by the letters of the alphabet. The most used alphabet is X, but we can take any alphabet in the English. We can take any alphabet from the English, such as X, Y, Z, L, M, N, and P, and so on. And from the variables, we will form an expression like we did earlier. For the first one, like Ayushi was playing, we get an expression like 4x plus 5. We get an expression like 4x plus 5. Similarly, in case of Arya, we get a expression like 10y minus 20. These are called as the expression. So from a variable we form expression. What is an expression now? A expression are formed by performing operations like subtraction, addition, multiplication, and division on the variable. So what we did is we first think of a number and we did operation on that number. So I think of a number x, I multiply it with 4. So I'll give a operation of multiplication on it. Then we add a number 5 to it. Now what we get is called as the expression. So when we perform some operations on a variable, we will get expression, and an expression is expression until there will be no condition of equality. It will be an expression until there will be no condition of equality. Let's move further. Now when we take the equation as 4x plus 5 is equals to 65, it is a condition on the variable x. It states that the value of the expression, that is 4x plus 5, will be equal to 65. It states that the expression 4x plus 65 has a value is equals to 65, and this condition only satisfied when x is equals to 15. That means this equation has only one solution, that is x is equals to 15. If you try to put any other value of x except for 15, you will see that equation will not satisfy. For an example, if I am taking x is equals to 5, then 4x plus 5, which is my expression 4x plus 5 will give me, we just need to put the value of x as 5. 4 plus 5 plus 5, it will give us the value as 25, while the answer should be 65. Hence we will say x is equals to 5 is not a solution of this equation. Similarly, you can try other values of x. So we will say if a value satisfied the equation, that will called as the solution of the equation, and if it is not satisfying the equation, that will be not the solution of the equation. So if you try to put x is equals to 15 in this equation, try to put 4x plus 5, you will get 65. So there is just one solution of the equation, that is x is equals to 15. Any other solution is redundant in this. So in an equation, now what is an equation? Try to understand equation briefly. In an equation, there is always an equality sign. For an example, when we take an expression 4x plus 5, it is an expression because there is no equality sign. until and unless an expression will be in an expression until there is not a equality sign. When you include any equality sign in any equation, it becomes any expression, it becomes an equation. The equality sign shows that the expression on the left hand side of the sign, that is equality sign, will be equals to the expression on the right hand side, that will called as the LHS and RHS. So we will say that LHS should be equals to RHS in case of a equation, then only equation holds true. If there is any other sign except for equality, for an example, here you can see 4x plus 65 is the equation we are talking about, then 4x plus 5 is called as the left hand side because it is on the left side of equality sign, while 65 called as the RHS, which is on the right side of the equality sign. X is the variable in this expression or in this equation, and equality sign describes that this is an equation, not an expression. But if there is any other sign except for equality, we will say that is not a equation, that is not a equation. So 4x plus 5 is greater than 65. Here you can see instead of equality sign there is a greater than sign, and that's why we will say this is not an equation. Now, in an equation, we often find that the right hand side, generally we see two examples in which 4x plus 5 is equals to 65 and 10y minus 20 is equals to 10y minus 20 is again is equals to 50. In both the equation, we said that the right hand side of the equation is just a number, that is 65 and 50, but that's not always the case. In case of an equation, it is possible that the both side of the equation has variable in it. For an example, 4x plus 65 is equals to 6x minus 25. In this equation, both the sides have variables in it, but a variable equation will always form if either side of the equation has variable in it. For an example, we cannot say 5 is equals to just a minute, we can't say that 5 is equals to 5 is a equation, because that is a truth, that is a universal truth. So until and unless there is a variable in your equation on either side, it can be on both the side or can be at least on one side, then only you will say that it is an equation. It's not hold true in case of just numbers. There should be a variable in an equation. So in short, an equation is a condition in which you can say on a variable, the condition is that two expression, that is on the left hand side and on the right hand side, that both the sides should be equal, then only your equality will hold true. And any of these, that is left hand side or right hand side, any of them should contain a variable, then only your equality will make it a equation. So a equation remains the same when the expression on the left and on the right are interchanged. That is a very important result in case while you try to solve your equation. For an example, if I am writing 4x plus 5 is equals to 65, it is also true if you write 65 is equals to 4x plus 5. It does not matter whether you are writing an expression on left hand side or right hand side, it can be interchanged, but your equality will still hold true. So it does not depend whether you are writing on the left hand side, on the right hand side. It's just that you don't need to change the expression on either side. That means you can't do 4x is equals to 65 plus 5. You cannot do that because you change the expression on one side and on the other side. You can interchange the complete expression, but do not change the expression on either side. So that helps you while you solve equations. Now let's solve some example. Write the following statement in the form of equation. First one gives the sum of 3 times x and 11 is 32. So it is saying first put your attention on 3 times x. Put your attention on 3 times x. So x is a number, 3 times of x will be 3x, and the sum of 3 times of x and 11, that means we have to add 11 in this. We will get our answer as 32. So that is the equation we form for the first one. For the second one, if you subtract 5 from 6 times a number, let the number be y, z. You can take that number, any number. So 6 times a number, let's say I'm taking that number be y. So 6 times a number will be 6y. If I subtract 5 from this number, I'll get 6y minus 5, and that should be equals to 7. That should be equals to 7. So this is the second equation. Let's understand the third one. 1/4 of m is 3 more than 7. 1/4 of m. 1/4 of m is this. 1/4 of m is m by 4. 1/4 of m is 3 more than 7. It is 3 more than 7. If you subtract 7 from this, you will get 3. Or either you add 3, you will get 7. Both are equal. Okay. Again, and the last says 1/3 of a number plus 5 is 8. So for the fourth one, 1/3 of a number, let the number be z. 1/3 of the number z by 3 plus 5 will give you the value as 8. This is your whole answer for this question. This is how we form the equation. Let's move further. If you ask to form statement from the equation, you can also do the same. For first one, let's say for the first one, x minus 5 is equals to 9. You can write it as, if we subtract 5 from a number, we will get 9. For the second one, you can say it as 5 times a number will give us 20. For the third one, we can say if we add 7 in 3 times, if we add 7 with 3 times a number, we will get 1. This is the statement for third. And for the last one, you can write it down as if we subtract 2 from 1/5 of a number, we will get 6. This is how we form a statement from the equation. That both are done. Now consider the following. Let's try to make equation now from a word problem. Raju's father age. Consider the following situation. Raju's father age is 5 years more than 3 times Raju's age. Raju's father is 44-year-old. Set up an equation to find Raju's age. First, we need to understand, whenever we try to form the equation in such, we need to think that we need to take the variable as the number which is smaller. For example, if I am talking about Raju's age and Raju's father age, we know that Raju is younger than his father. So first, whenever we are taking any variable, we should take it to the smaller one. So I'll say let the age of Raju will be equals to x years. I'm taking Raju's age will be x year. Now it is, the statement is saying Raju's father age is 5 years more than 3 times Raju's age. So if the Raju's age is x year, then I will write it over here. Then Raju's father's age will be equals to 3 times of Raju's age. So that will be 3x, and 5 more than that means add 5 to it. 3x plus 5 years, that will be the age of Raju's father's. Now it is now the statement is saying that Raju's father is 44-year-old. That means 3x plus 5 should be equals to 44 years. Now solving this equation, we will get the value of x, and x is nothing but the age of Raju. So this is the equation which gives us the value of which gives us the age of Raju. That is how we set an equation. Let's take one more example. A shopkeeper sells mangoes in 2 type of boxes, one small and one large. A large box contains as many as 8 small boxes plus 4 loose mangoes. Set up an equation which gives the number of mangoes in each small box. The number of mangoes in a large box is given to be 100. Now again we need to think the same. That is, we need to take smaller values as the variable. For an example, here we know small box, we have one small box and one bigger box. So we will try to take the number of mangoes in the smaller box. So I am taking it as, I'm taking it as let the number of mangoes in a smaller box will be equals to x. So the number of mangoes in a smaller box is x, then the number of mangoes in bigger one will be equals to in bigger box or larger box will be equals to. Now it is given that the in larger box contain as many as 8 small boxes plus 4 loose mangoes. Because in one small box we have x number of mangoes, then in 8 small boxes we will have 8 times of x number of mangoes, but we have plus 4 loose mangoes, so we have to add those 4 loose mangoes over here. Now one more information we have, that the number of mangoes in the large box is equals to 100. That means 8x plus 4 should be equals to 100. This is the equation which gives us the number of mangoes in smaller boxes. This is how we set up an equation. Now let's move further. Now let's try to find whether the given values are the solution of the equation or not. Again, as we learned earlier, if the value is a solution of the equation, then that value will satisfy the equation. That means left hand side of the equation will be equals to the right hand side of the equation. Let's take a first one, that is a. For a, it is given to me, I need to check the value of n is equals to 1. That means I have to replace the value of n as 1 in my equation. It is given me n plus 5. Now this n plus 5 is LHS. N plus 5 is equals to 19. So I'll first check for LHS. Put the value of n as 1. I'll get 1 plus 5 is equals to 6, which is not equals to right hand side of your equation, which is 19, so we will say that n is equals to 1. N is equals to 1 is not the solution. N is equals to 1 is not the solution of our equation. Let's try one more time for the second one, which is given 7h plus 5 is equals to 19 at n is equals to minus 2. So left hand side will give us as 7 multiplied by minus 2 plus 5. It will give me the value as minus 14 plus 5, which gives me the value as minus 9, and the which is not equals to the right hand side, as my right hand side is 19. So again n is equals to minus 2 is not a solution. Let's take for the third one. It is 7n plus 5 is equals to 19, but at n is equals to 2. If I'll put the value of n is equals to 2 in my equation, it will be 7 into 2 plus 5. It will give me 14 plus 5, which is equals to 19, and which is equals to the right hand side. As then I will say that n is equals to 2 is the solution of my equation. That is how we find whether a number is a solution of the given equation or not. Let's move further. Again, if we need to check one more value of the brackets is the solution of the not, again you can try it by yourself. You can try this very clearly. Just try to put the for first one. If I'll say for the first one, if I'll put the value of p as if I'll put the value of p as 1 in the first one, it will give me the left hand side will be 4 into 1. 4 into 1 will give 4. 4 minus 3 will give me 1. 1 is not equals to 13, as p is equals to 1 is not the solution. Again for the second one, if I'll put the value of p as minus 4, I will get minus 16. Minus 3 which will give me minus 19, and minus 19 is not is equals to 13. So p is equals to minus 4 is again not a solution. If I'll put the value of p is equals to 0, if I'll put the value of p is equals to 0, it will give me the value of this as minus 3 again. So p is equals to 0 is not a solution of this equation. This is how we find whether a given number is a solution of the equation or not. Let's move further. Solve the following equation by trial and error method. In trial and error method, what we'll do, we will try to put different values of p in order to get the solution. For an example, for the first one, if I'll try to find the trial and error method. What we will do, there is not any process, but generally what we do, we started putting the value of p as 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. So first let's put the value of p as 0. I'll get my answer as, if I'll get the my left hand side will be equals to 5p plus 2, and if p is equals to 0, then I'll get a value of 2 which is not equals to my right hand side, that is 17. So p is equals to 0 is not a solution. Let's put one more value, p is equals to 1, then my left hand side will come out to be 5p plus 2, which is equals to 5 into 1 will give me 5 plus 2 7, which is again not equals to 17. So p is equals to 1 is not a solution. Again, if you will try p is equals to 2, that will not be a solution. But when you will try p is equals to 3, you will get that LHS will be equals to 5p plus 2, which is equals to 17, and that is equals to your right hand side. As hence we will say that p is equals to 3 is the solution of this equation. P is equals to 3 is solution of this equation. Again, for the second one, if you try to do trial and error method, first try to put the value of m as 0. You will get m को अगर हम 0 put करेंगे, we will get value as, we will not get equal answer, that is LHS is not equals to RHS. So m is equals to 0 is not a solution. Again, try for m is equals to 1, we will get 6 minus 14, which will give me the value as minus 8. So minus 8 is not equals to minus 4. So again, that will not be my solution. If I'll try m is equals to 3, let's say 2, if you try to, it was 9 minus 14 minus 5, 3 put करेंगे, if you put 3, 9 minus 14 which give you minus 5, again not equal. If you try to put the value of m as 4, तो आपका आंसर आएगा 12 minus 14 minus 2. Try to value put 5, you will get again the answer as 15 minus 14 1, again not the solution. But when you put m is equals to 6, you will get the value as 6 3s are 18, 18 minus 14 will give you 4, which is equals to RHS, and hence m is equals to 6 is the solution of this equation. This is the trial and error method in which we try to put the different values in the equation. Let's move further. Now let's try how to solve an equation in a more appropriate way. That was the trial and error method. Let's see how can we solve an equation with more appropriate way. Often an equation is said to be like, now an equation is nothing but a weighing balance. Like you can see over here, one is the left hand side and one is the right hand side in a weighing balance. Doing a mathematical operation on an equation is like adding weights to or removing weights from the pens of a weighing balance. For an example, why we are saying that, right now, because the left hand side and right hand side have equal weight on both the pens, therefore this bar is horizontal. Therefore this bar is horizontal, this bar is horizontal right now because both the pen have equal weight. Now making a mathematical operation is same like, if I'll add the same weight on both the pens, I am trying to add, I am adding this weight over here and I am adding the same weight over here. If I am adding the same weight on both the side of my weighing balance, the balance will remain horizontal because I add the same weight. Similarly, if I remove this, still my bar will remain horizontal. So equation is same like, if you add or subtract the same number on both the side of equation, that is left hand side and right hand side, your equation will not change. But if you do something like, I am adding something over here, I am adding some weight over here and I am adding lesser weight over here, then definitely the bar will not be horizontal. It will be something like this because we add more on the left hand side and less on the right hand side. The bar will bend on the left hand side. Now this is the condition with the equation. You can't do the same with the equation. That means you can't add two different number on both the side. That is why we are comparing the equation with the weighing balance. Now let's see in the case of some rules. Let's try and understand some rules in case of solving an equation. First rule says, if you add the same number on both the side of an equality, it still holds true. For an example, if I take again the same equation, 4x plus 5 is equals to 65. If I'll add plus 5 on both the side, if I'll add plus 5 on both the side, my equation become 4x plus 10 is equals to 75. Now this equation holds true as well because I am adding the same number, that is plus 5 on both the sides. Second rule says that if I'll add the same number, if I'll subtract the same number from both the side of an equality, it still holds true. For an example, if in the same equation, 4x plus 5 is equals to 65, if I subtract 5 from both the side, I'll get an equation 4x is equals to 60. Now this equation also holds true or give the same solution as earlier. Similarly, we can multiply both the side of then equality with the same non-zero number. Now putting this non-zero number over here has a specific value, because if you multiply any equation, let's say I have the same equation 4x plus 5 is equals to 65. If I multiply both the side with 0, then I'll get 0 is equals to 0. That will always be the case. So we cannot multiply any equation with 0, otherwise you will get no solution. That is redundant. So we will always do multiplication but with a non-zero number. Similarly, we divide both the side of an equality by the same non-zero number, it still holds. So again, the non-zero number, keeping non-zero number over here, have the same specification like earlier, because division with 0 is not defined. So we cannot divide both the side of equality with 0. But still, if you fail to do same mathematical operation with the same number on both the side of an equality, then the equality may vary. For an example, in the same equation, I am taking two more examples. 65. Let's say I am adding plus 5 on this side and I am subtracting 5 on this side. Then my equation become 4x plus 10 is equals to 60. Now this equation will not hold true, because you do a addition on one side and subtraction on other side, so that is not possible. Similarly, if you cannot do this as well, that is, if you are adding plus 5 over here and you are adding plus 10 over here, you cannot do this as well. So these are the rules you need to keep in your mind while solving an equation. Let's try to solve an equation now. X plus 3 is equals to 8. The equation says x plus 3 is equals to 8. Now, in order to solve this equation, we try to keep our variable on one side and the numbers on the other side. So in order to do that, I'll follow the second rule of my equation, that is, I'll subtract one number from both the side. But if there will be one condition, if I subtract minus 3, then only on the left hand side I have only variable term. Similarly, if I am doing minus 3 over here, I have to do it on the other side. So I will write it the reason as subtracting 3 from both the sides. So I'll get x is equals to 5, and x is equals to 5 is nothing but the solution of this equation. Let's try one more. X minus 3 is equals to 10. X minus 3 is equals to 10. Again, in this equation, if I'll add plus 3 over here, so I have to add plus 3 over here. Again, adding plus 3 on both the side of equation, this 3 will cancel out, minus 3, I'm left with just x, and 10 plus 3 will give me 13. So x is equals to 13 is the solution of my equation. Again, we know how to check whether a number is a solution of an equation or not. You can also check your answer whether it is true or not. That is the best thing in case of simple equation, that you can check your answer immediately once you get any answer. Let's try to do it one more time. 5y is equals to 35. If I am saying this number, 5y is equals to 35. Again, I know if I'll divide my equation on both the side with the same number, I'll get the same equation. So I am dividing with 5 on both the side. I am dividing with 5 on both the side. I'll get y is equals to 7, and y is equals to 7 is the solution of my equation. Let's move further. again using the third one, that is if we multiply with the same number on both the side, we will get the same equation. So m by 2, I am multiplying with 2 over here, so I have to did the same on the right hand side. This 2 will be cancelled out. I'll get my value of m as 10. M is equals to 10 is the solution of this equation. So by using the rules of solving an equation, we can easily solve any equation. But right now we are doing any of the rules. We are just using only one rule in order to solve an equation. But if there are some equation which needs more than one rules to be solved, for an example, it is given over here for a. Let's say try to solve the first one. 3n plus 7 is equals to 25. Again plus 7 is here, so in order to remove plus 7 from this side, I have to subtract minus 7. But I have to do the same operation on the other side, so it will give me the answer as 3n is equals to 25 minus 7 will give you 18. Now again, if I'll divide with the same number on both the side, I'll get the same equation. So I'll get n is equals to 6. N is equals to 6 is the solution of my equation. So in order to solve an equation, we may require more than one rule to solve. For the second one, we can do the same. For the second one, we can do the same. 2p minus 1 is equals to 23. Again, in order to remove minus 1, I have to add 1 on this side, and I have to do the same operation on the other side. It will give me the value as 2p is equals to, because this one will be cancelled out, 23 plus 1 will be 24. Now if we divide with the same number on both the sides, the equation holds true as well. So I'll get p is equals to 12. P is equals to 12 is the solution of my equation. That is how we solve an equation. Now that is one more way to solve your equation, and the method is called as the method of transposition. Now what is a transposition? Any term of an equation may be taken on the other side of equality with the change in its sign. That is a very important aspect. Whenever you transpose any term from one side of equation to another side of equation, you need to change the sign of that term. This process is called as the transposition. So when I'm talking about change in its sign, so if a term have positive sign, then you have to do negative. If there is a negative sign, do it positive. If there is a division sign, do it multiplication, and if there is a multiplication sign, in divide. Let's take an example right over here. In this equation, we can see 5x plus 9 is equals to 3x plus 1. So in the same equation, if I am saying 5x plus 9 is equals to 3x plus 1, same equation, if I want to take 3x on the left hand side, the 3x have plus sign in front of it, so I have to change that sign into minus on this side. Similarly, 1 has plus 1, I have to send this 9 on this side. By transposition, here it has plus sign, so if you come over here, you need to do minus 9. That is how you will do. Now 2x will be equals to minus 8. Now here this 2 should be addressed. Now this 2 is in multiplication with x, so anything which is in multiplication should be go into division. So send it into division, you will get your answer as x is equals to minus 4. That is what method of transposition is. We need to understand whether how to solve. Let's take some example and you will have a better understanding about this. Okay, let's try to solve this question. 12p minus 5 will give me 25. Now 12p minus 5. Now using the method of transposition, what I will do, I will try to send my numbers on one side and variable on the other side. Keeping 12p over here, I am sending 5 on the other side. Here the sign of 5 is minus 5, so when you send minus 5 on the right hand side, the sign will changes to plus 5 because it has minus. So when you take to the another side, it will be plus 5. Now 12p will be equals to 30. Again, now 12 is in multiplication, so whatever is in multiplication will go into division. So P will be equals to, if I'm transposing this on the right hand side, I will write it down. So here when I am transposing, I will write it down as transposing minus 5 to RHS. Similarly here I will write it down transposing 12 to RHS. That is how we do the transposition. Now try to write this fraction into the simplest form. It will give me the answer as let's say 15 by 6. Again we can divide it more further. 3 2s are 6, 3 5s are, so my answer will be 5 by 2, or I can write it down as 2.5. so P is equals to 2.5 is the solution of this equation. Now again solve these two equations. 3p minus 10 is equals to 5. If I solve this equation, 3p minus 10 is equals to 5. So try to solve this equation. You will get transpose minus 10 on the right hand side, you will get plus 10 because sign will change. So it will give you the value as 3p is equals to 15. Again 3 is in multiplication, so you have to do it 15 by 3. You will get answer as 5. So P is equals to 5 is the solution. You can attempt the second one by yourself using the same. You can do the same for the second one. Let's move further. That again, let's try to solve the first one. Now first one you can attempt by yourself. Let's try to do the second one, which is more interesting. Now when I am saying B minus 2 times x plus 3 is equals to 8. Now here try to understand, here minus is not the sign which is in the equality. Minus 2 is in multiplication to the whole. So when we transpose minus 2 to right hand side, we will keep that minus sign within. That means 8 divided by minus 2, because minus is not using not in the operation, it is just the sign with the 2. So whenever you are taking minus 2 to the right hand side, keep that in your mind that minus sign will come up with a 2 because it is the sign of 2. And we are at the time of transposition, we will do the one thing only, because we are doing the number in the multiplication going in the division, we not put our attention on that we need to send the sign from negative to positive, because we are not doing the transposition as addition to subtraction. So please keep that in your mind. X plus 3 is equals to minus 4. Now again 3 will go over there, it will be minus 3. You will get up with the answer minus 7. That is how we will solve an equation. That is how you will solve an equation. So try to attempt the first one by yourself. It is very easy question. Let's move further. Now there will be more complex problems in the same one. Let's try to do this. 16 3x minus 5 minus 10. 16 3x minus 5 minus 10. 4x plus 8 is equals to 40. Now there are so many methods in order to solve the same. Whether you, now the best method is try to open your brackets. I am opening my brackets. 16 3s are 48x. 16 will get multiplied with 3x, and 16 will also get multiplied with minus 5. It will give me the answer as 80. Again minus 10 will get multiplied with 4x, will give me minus 40x, and again minus 10 when gets multiplied by plus 8, it will give me minus 80, which should be equals to plus 40. Now 40x minus 40 will give me 48 minus 40 times x, and also 80 minus 80, it will give me 160 is equals to 40. Now it will give you 8x. Try to transpose 160. Minus 160 is transposing to the right hand side, it will give us plus 160. Now 8x is equals to 200. Now x will be equals to, which is in multiplication will go into division, it will give me the value as 25. So x is equals to 25 is the solution of this equation. Even though the question seems to be tough, it is a very easy question. Let's try to do one more question. Now x minus 3 divided by 5 minus 2 is equals to minus 1. In such situation, first, which, because minus 2 and minus 1 are number, transpose minus 2 to right hand side, you will get x minus 3 by 5 divided by 5 will give me the value as minus 1, and minus 2 will give you plus 2. So you will get x minus 3 by 5 is equals to plus 1. Now this 5 is in division, here it will come up in a multiplication, so x minus 3 should be equals to 5. Now transpose 3 on the right hand side, it minus 3 will come up with plus 3, you will get answer as x is equals to 8. Now try to make equation from the solution. Atul is a very curious child. He thought, if we find a solution from an equation, why can't we do the reverse process, that is try to make an equation using a solution. So there we do the opposite, reverse path we need to follow. For an example, we need to construct two equations starting with x is equals to 5. Let's try to make those two equations using different operations. X is equals to 5, it is given to you. We know the 4 rules which will not change your equality, that is add the same number on both the side, subtract the same number on both the side, multiply the same number, non-zero number on both the sides. Similarly, divide with the same non-zero number on both the sides will not change your equality. Using the same, I am multiplying both the side with 3, it will give me 3x is equals to 15. Now adding 2 on both the side will give me equation as 15 plus 2, that is 3x plus 2 is equals to 17 is the equation having the solution x is equals to 5. Let's try to make one more, x is equals to 5. Divide x with 5, you will get 5 by 5, 1. So x by 5 is equals to 1. Now subtract both the side with 7, you will get 1 minus 7. So x by 5 minus 7 is equals to minus 6. That is the equation having the solution x is equals to 5. That is how you can make as many as equation as you know, because a equation may have only one solution, but a solution can have more than one equations. That is how simple equation is. So x is equals to 5 can be solution of so many equation. Let's move. That is how we form a solution equation from the solution. Now let's move further. Let's see some application of simple equation. The sum of 3 times a number and 11 is 32. We form the equation for the same as earlier we formed the equation for the same question, that is 3 times a number 3x, adding 11 to it will give us 32. Now we need to solve this equation in order to find the number. First, transpose 11 on the right hand side, it will come up as minus 11. So you will get the answer as 21. Now 3x is equals to 21. Divide or transpose 3 to the right hand side, whichever in the multiplication will go into division, you will come up with the answer x is equals to 7 is the solution of this equation. That means the number we are talking about is 7. Let's move further. Try to solve one more question. Find a number such that 1/4 of the number is 3 more than 7. Again, we need to find the number such that the 1/4 of the number is 3. So I am taking that number be y. 1/4 of the number will be y by 4. And 1/4 of the number is 3 more than 7. Both 1/4 of the number is 3 more than 7. That means if you subtract 7 from this number, you will get 3. Or that is how you, now you need to solve this equation in order to get the number. Y by 4 is equal to minus 7 transpose to the right hand side will come up with plus 7. You will get y by 4 is equals to 10. Again, try to solve this. Y by 4 is equals to 10. 4 is in division, so it will come up in a multiplication. So your answer should be y is equals to 40. That is your correct answer for this equation. That means the number we are talking about is 40. Let's move further. The sum of two consecutive numbers is 53. Find the numbers. Now let one number be x. If one number is x, then two consecutive number, one after the another, so there will be two possibilities. Either you can take the another number as x minus 1, or you can also take the number as x plus 1. Then the another number will be, I am taking x plus 1, then the another number will be equals to x plus 1. Now it is saying the sum of these two is equals to 53. That means x added with x plus 1 will give you the value as 53. That means x plus x will give you 2x plus 1 is equals to 53. Again, transpose plus 1, you will get 53 minus 1. Here you can say 2x is equals to 52. Divide with the 2 or transpose 2 on the right hand side, you will get your answer as 26. So one of the number is 26, then another number will be 27. You can check the sum of 26 and 27 comes out to be 53. So the numbers are 26 and 27. Let's say if you will take x minus 1 in case of x, you will see in case of x you will say x minus 1, then addition of these two will give you 53. Again you come up with the answer 2x minus 1 is equals to 53. 2x is equals to 54. X will come out to be 27 this time. So your numbers are x and x minus 1. So x is 27 and x minus 1 will be 26. Again you will come up with the same answer, that is 26 and 27. So it barely matters whether you take x plus 1 or x minus 1. Both will give you the same answer. Let's move further. Now for this question we also make a statement that Raju's father age is 5 years more than 3 times Raju's age. Now we taken Raju's age as, हमने राजू की एज को लिया था as x. So Raju's age is x. 3 times of Raju's age will be 3x. 5 more than this will give you 3x plus 5, and the age of his father is given to you as 44. That means that is the equation what we get earlier as well. Now transposing 5 on the right hand side, we will get the answer as 39. So 3x is equals to 39, then x will be equals to 39 by 3. X is equals to 13 is your answer. Now x is equals to 13. We have taken the age of Raju as 13. So the age of Raju we need to find. The Raju's age is 39. That is what you need to find in order to solve this. That's how you need to solve the equation of simple equations. Now let's take one more example. Isha thinks of a number. Let the number be anything. Let that number be A. Isha think of a number. She adds 19 to it plus 19. Now whatever comes up and divides the sum by 5. Divide this sum by 5, whole sum by 5, she will get 8. Then the number will be, solve this equation, you will get your number A plus 19. 5 is in division, so come up in the multiplication. 8 5s are 40. Again transpose 19 on the other side will come up with minus 19. A will be equals to 40 minus 19 will give you 21. So the number she think of is 21. Try to do the same. Take 21, add 19 to it, you will get 40. Divide 40 with 5, you will get 8. That's what the question is saying. So you can also check your answer whether it is correct or not. Sachin scored twice as many runs as Rahul. So let's Sachin scored. Let's always take Rahul's, because Rahul scored less and Sachin scored more. And as we have discussed, we have to take always smaller values as variable. So I am saying Rahul scored X run. So Sachin will score twice of it, that is 2 times of X. Now together their runs fell too short of a double century. That means If you add these two, then the number left just too small from the 200, that is double century. So 3x will be equals to 198. Then x will come out to be 198 by 3. Your answer will be 66. So Rahul scored 66 runs and Sachin scored twice of it, that is 142. He scored 140. He scored 132. I'm sorry. He scored 132 runs. So Sachin scored 132 and Rahul scored 66 runs. Let's take one more example. Irfan says that he has 7 marbles, more than 5 times the marble Parmeet has. Irfan has 37 marbles. How many marbles does Parmeet have? Now, after solving so many equations, I hope you will be able to solve this equation. Try to solve it by yourself. Thank you so much. We are done with all the aspect of this chapter. I'll see you with one more one-shot revision video later on. Until then, bye.